So we're here, day 3, last day of the ICT4D conference, and I'm here with Anne. Anne, please, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. Thank you for having me. My name is Anne Muchiri from here in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm a lecturer at St. Paul's University in the computing department. And I'm also a researcher around digital inclusion, adaptive digital technologies, particularly focusing on older adults to ensure that they are not being left behind in this digital transformation. So, and of course, as we are researching around digital inclusion, we're also focusing on these emerging technologies, which includes AI. And if we're going to integrate AI in the technologies that we're going to propose for especially these marginalized groups, then how do we make sure that, yes, the technology is there, but can they access it meaningfully? Can they be able to get value from it? And essentially, can they be able to benefit from, of course, services like you and I?
Yeah, I want to come back to that, to your research. But before that, I want to ask you about the vibe. What's the vibe been at the conference for the past couple of days?
It's been quite interesting, different perspectives. Of course, lots of thinking about how do we do ethical AI? How do we, if we're integrating AI, how is it shifting the power? And that is one of the workshops that we hosted. So we were focusing on things like control, things like practice, things like AI in the humanitarian sector. So when we're integrating AI, we need to think about this holistically, so such that whether it's about infrastructure, are we considering things like interoperability so that if data is there, then it can be accessed and it can be used by these AI algorithms and it can better provide good outputs. If at all it's the data itself, who is the benefactor of these particular services you're talking about, and are they willing to share that data? How much data can you share? So the conversations have been quite interesting. Also, it's important. It's been great to see that AI, how the different AI technology use cases have been deployed. For example, in humanitarian actions, where if you're looking at supporting refugees, for example, how does that go? If it's the Red Cross, how does that use these AI technologies? But the most interesting thing has been we also need to shift our mindset such that we first of all need to think about the problem. Yes, AI is there. It's meant to help us, but could there be a more traditional way to solve it? Because we also don't want to pump in so much money into AI solutions because they are expensive. So how do we make sure that when it comes to the solutions, we are first of all thinking about the problem and the outcome you hope to achieve, and you can deploy whichever technology would be beneficial to that particular use case. So it's been quite interesting to view the different use cases from different players.
Yeah. Is there a particular speaker at the conference that's really made you think or shared something that really inspired you?
Quite a number. Case in point, the lightning talk today morning. She was talking about data. Mm-hmm. Now I forget her name. Lynette.
Yes.
Yeah. So especially with the maps, it was quite impressive to be able to see. Yes, we keep saying that Africa may not have the resources, or rather the global south may not have the resources. But if we have this data, how do we make sure that it's being used to the right perspectives, not just collect data and then it's not being used? If it's for the infrastructure, how do we make sure that we bring in aspects of interoperability so that that data can be exchanged both across the north and the south, and we see how these technologies can support us. So yeah, that has been quite an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I thought she was wonderful. I want to come back to your research a little bit. Tell us more about, like, I think often we think of digital and youth kind of going together, right? Mm-hmm. There's a bit of connotation there. So when we're thinking about digital transformation and older people, what are some of the aspects we really need to focus on in terms of their digital inclusion? What are you learning through your research?
Quite a number of things so far. We've even tested a chatbot with older persons, and their perspectives were quite interesting because issues of trust do come in. And trust from their perspective is even linked to like trust, spiritual trust, because they're like, where are all these responses coming from? So basically, when it comes to digital transformation, we've got to think about not beyond access. What are the end users also looking for? Before I trust a solution, for me to use a solution, I've got to trust it. I've got to also learn how to use it in terms of the digital literacy skills. Most of them are at the very low end of the pyramid. So what are these digital skills? And even the language issue that keeps coming up. One of the sessions that I attended was about voice. How do voice as the next frontier? So the question is, if voice is there, and yet voice, to be honest, has quite a number of other complications in comparison to text. Intonation. If, for example, as an older person today, my voice is frail because I'm not well, will the AI recognize that? So quite a number of issues in terms of language access, trust issues, access issues, shared devices, because most of them you'll find that they're in that shared environment. So essentially, how do we bring in our conversations holistically without excluding especially that particular population? And you've also got to be mindful that, of course, with age comes physical limitations. We will all age at some point. Most people assume that you will remain young, you will remain functional, but how do we make sure that these technologies are inclusive for them? Because we cannot be talking about digital transformation, yet we are leaving quite a large population behind. Because with older adults, again, you'll also tend to find that they are the ones who call it that, not myself, age or laziness, where they want someone to always be doing things for them. But we find that when we empower them, even with just basic digital skills, they are more inclined to engage digitally, do the different activities that you'd also want to do, understand what is happening behind the scenes. Even if they are being supported, they also want to move along in this digital transformation, because there is also fear where they don't want to break the devices. But if you take them along progressively with patience and they trust these particular systems, they are quite willing to consume them, whether it's for making social connections, whether it's for just entertaining them. We have a demographics show, or rather the statistics show that there's quite a challenge with things like dementia. But if you're keeping me active with that particular digital tool, whether it's a gaming tool, whether it's just to be able for us to make, for example, a video call with my relatives who are away, then they're quite willing to be brought on board.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It's so valuable to have academia as well joining these conferences for this like real knowledge exchange across sectors and people. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.